Okay, so this is part 3 of the clicker training with the puppy. So for teaching leash pressure, um, this part just takes a lot of intentionality and patience because um, most puppies, when they feel pressure on their neck from the leash, they just pull against it, right? Like this is what we see, this is what people experience, and that's called opposition reflex. So they feel that pressure and they like push into it to oppose the pressure. They think that that's going to make it go away, but it doesn't. Um, and humans just follow, so they just end up dragging people all over the place. Um, so when you're using the clicker, I'm going to I'm going to try to get her to go to the end of the leash. Um, I have her on a prong collar now, so I'm going back to a slip lead to try and sort of replicate what it will look like. For your puppy who's like 8 to 12 weeks old, you can use a slip lead or a flat collar with a leash. And because you're never going to be like dragging them, but you just want to be mindful that like it can compress their airway. So the pressure needs to be intentional and gentle and released pretty quickly. So Daisy, break. See how she doesn't even get to the end of the leash. She already knows, so good. So as soon as she feels the pressure, she turns around, I click. Break. She was pretty excited like 2 seconds ago, but now that we're working, she's like totally focused. It's funny. Okay, put food on the floor. Pressure. Good. She does still pull a little bit outside, but she's really learning to not do that. So I'm just trying to get her focused on anything else. Put some more food. Pressure. Good. Right there. Pressure. Good. So it's just as soon as she turns her head. So most of your 8, 9, 10 week old puppies, when they're on the leash, they're just going to be like really trying to get away. So anytime they feel it and turn around, you're going to click and reward them. So we'll see if she'll wander around here for a minute. You didn't even see it. It's right there. Break. She was going bananas like a minute ago. So you can see how after you do this a little bit, they're like pretty inclined to not actually put pressure on the end of the leash, and that will really help you with your walking. Obviously, when you get outside, there's lots of distractions and stuff, and so it can be a bit more challenging. And so if you're like outside and you're walking and they're just really getting ahead of you, honestly, just stop. Reel them back in to get them back by your side. So we'll see if she'll do this now. Good. So I'm going to click when she's by my side. Now, outside, you can use treats, but you don't want to do it for very long. Treats just increase their level of arousal. So you just want to be mindful. Like if you have a dog who's more inclined to be kind of anxious and overexcited, to use those things intentionally and make sure that it's not actually sabotaging what you want. I'm going to put some pressure. Good. So basically, anytime I put pressure on the leash and she yields to it, I'm going to mark it. So I'll walk with her a little bit and just see what she does. Good. And then mark when she's by my side. So there was never actually like pressure on the leash, so I didn't mark when she turned around, but you sure can. No. And all this jumping and stuff, like just a quick leash pop. And pretty soon you'll get a dog that's in follow mode. So you can just do this with your puppy inside. Just move back and forth, change directions. Anytime there's pressure and it gets released, just mark it. Just make sure that you're marking when there's no pressure and not when they put pressure. So the timing really matters because the clicker helps the dog like take a snapshot in their brain of what's happening in that moment. So if the leash is tight in that moment, you're getting this not the snapshot that you want. And then you can use the leash pressure to start teaching them to sit with that. So that's a bit more advanced, I would say, than like for an 8-week-old puppy. But because they're going to fight this in the beginning, it's not going to look quite this smooth. Good. But this is what you get after doing this for a couple of weeks, is a dog that's in follow mode and doesn't actually want to put a lot of pressure on the end of the leash. But again, like for Daisy, she's really good at this inside. We thought like she was going to be really, she seemed really receptive to the leash pressure, and we thought she was going to like do well without the prong collar. But in fact, outside is like a whole different story for her, and she does in fact really need it. The prong collar just keeps her from getting too distracted because it's a bit different of a sensation on her neck. And again, we're not like yanking on her or anything, but she gets some clearer direction with that. And she needs that to overcome all of the distractions that are outside. Inside, she's pretty good with just a slip lead or even her flat collar. But outside, she just needs a little more help. So that's what you do with the leash pressure, is just like let them get away from you, throw food if you need to, and then lead them back to you and just mark as the leash is loose and they're returning to you. That's what you want to take a picture of for them in their brain.